It takes us 5 years to get there from our launch date back in 2011, and so this last year of preparations gets pretty intense because there's some very unique things about Juno's mission. We have to prepare not only for a rival Jupiter and a very important and critical main engine burn for an event we call Jupiter orbit insertion. We also have to fire their main engine one more time after that to reduce the orbital period down to 14 days. And then a month or so after that, we have to start our 16-month science mission. And we only have one shot at that science mission because the radiation dose on the spacecraft is growing exponentially, and by the time we get 16 months out, we've agreed with NASA we will deorbit at that point so that we can ensure we'll never hit Europa uncontaminated. That's part of a planetary protection requirement that was imposed on us. Jupiter is probably, aside from the Sun, the most hazardous location in the solar system. So, and we are going right into the well of it. It's probably not unlike flying through a hurricane again and again and again to make critical measurements in the eye. We think we've designed properly for the environment, but like in a hurricane, you will get variation in winds. In our case, we're not worried about the winds, we're worried about charged particle flow and how they affect our electronics. To help us survive the really high radiation levels is a radiation vault. We've put armor, so to speak, around some of our critical electronics. The walls are solid titanium, and most of our critical electronics are located inside that vault. The goal of that is to keep the radiation dose that accumulates throughout Jupiter's mission to be somewhat close to what we expect to see at Mars. We have to worry about the accumulated dose, but we also have to worry about flux, which are peak levels of radiation that we'll experience at different points in the orbit. We also have to prepare for the fact that there's uncertainty there and we might be surprised. So we have to spend additional time thinking about contingencies, making sure the spacecraft can protect itself if it does go into safe mode or if it does experience a flux event while we're there. Actually, that's kind of the fun part of the work because there's a lot of creative thinking in terms of how to recover from various anomalies or events that might happen. We have many partners here because we have 9 different instruments from various institutions. The lead scientist is located in Texas, and that's the Southwest Research Institute. They also provide 2 of the instruments on the spacecraft. The day-to-day operations, including mission operations, are led by the Jet Propulsion Lab, where I work as the project manager, and we contribute 2 different instruments ourselves. We also have an instrument coming from Goddard Space Flight Center, that's the magnetometer, with advanced stellar compass, star camera, so to speak, from the Danish Technical University. We have an infrared spectrometer provided by the Italian Space Agency. We have a plasma instrument, a waves instrument we call it, from the University of Iowa, energetic particle detector instrument from Applied Physics Lab. And the spacecraft was built and delivered by Lockheed Martin Denver, and they are a key partner in operations and sequencing.